And take a moment to just check in, just get into the yoga zone. Yeah. Let's drop the chin towards the chest, gently. And then we'll take the head up. So it's super slow motion, nodding the head. Maybe with the eyes closed. And really, really slow this movement down so that you're really getting a sense of how this head is kind of balanced there on your neck. It's very heavy, and it actually takes so much strength to carry the weight of that head. So just maybe as you're doing this, setting a focus for the rest of the class, it may be that you want to work with alignment of your neck and head, or it might be that you just want to get energized, or you want to just relax, I don't know. Whatever it is that you want to get out of the session, try and kind of crystallize that and focus on what you want to achieve. It doesn't have to be, it could be anything. Yeah. So again, we're going to drop the chin towards the chest and then slowly take the chin from one shoulder to the other shoulder. Getting a sense of how that feels in the back of the neck and the shoulders. And then we'll bring the head back up to the center. And maybe just give the knees a bit of a press down so that you can feel like you're sitting up nice and tall. And then we'll inhale, draw the belly in, and then exhale, curl over, chin to the chest. And taking 3 or 4 breaths here. Deep breaths, energized breaths. Inhale through the mouth, inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. And then when you're ready, use the next in-breath to lengthen and come all the way up. And we'll take our hands to our knees, bring our feet beside us, give the legs a bit of a hug in here. And try and walk the heels back so that you can really give yourself a hug here and grow up from sitting bones to the crown of the head. And so as we were thinking about the way our head is balanced, try thinking that, and you might even want to take your hand up the back of your neck, and if you've not got anything in your hair, you can always take your hand all the way up and just give it a little tug of hair or something, just to give you that feeling that you've got a really long feeling in the back of the neck. It's a really nice thing to do. Yeah, so from here, again with this nice long feeling in the neck there, take your hands under the thighs and we're going to curl and roll and come down. So we're going to start this session with the feet on the floor and the knees floating in the air, so we're in constructive rest position. So you can have your legs in parallel and sending imagination to the back of the body and all the parts of the body in contact with the floor. Yeah, so you can probably do this next bit just by maybe even with your eyes closed, or if you want to, you can have a look every now and then. But I'm pressing down through my heels here, subtly feeling that lengthening of the back. And releasing, and then again pressing down with the heels and feeling that subtle lengthening of the tail and and the belly just kind of sinking softly down towards the ground. Let's try and exaggerate it a little bit. So breathing in, maybe you can feel that gap between your back and the mat, and then exhale, press the back into the mat. So we'll continue with this, but we'll gradually start to really engage the inner thighs, the glutes, and we'll roll up just a little way off the floor and then come back. So we're going to come up higher in stages. So take your time with this. Start to recruit those muscles that help you to lift the hips up off the ground. Really slow this down, so we're working sort of a micro movement here. Releasing the shoulders, brow, throat, jaw. All the actions going on in those central muscles from the knees up to the sort of diaphragm, front, side and back. So as you release, feel the space between your back and the mat and breathe in. And then as you exhale, use that out breath to send the hips up. And as you're doing this, maybe feeling that the hamstrings are starting to work, back of the thighs. And if you feel like, when you get to the top of it, if you feel like staying there for another breath or two, you can do that as well. So whilst doing these, it's always best to keep the eyes pretty still. And to keep the focus down the middle of the body. And so when the hips are up, if your eyes are open, you'll be able to see the belly rise and fall. Listening to that sequential way, moving. And the next time you do it, you might like to come up and then see what happens if you just bring your hands a little bit more underneath your body and step your heels in a little way. You don't have to. You can carry on with what you're doing, but if you wanted to, you could see if you perhaps you could reach the ankles there. And hold it for longer, it's up to you. So continuing as you are with this rhythm of rolling up and rolling down. And if you wanted to, again, add something else, you could come up on the balls of your toes and bring the hands towards your feet. And when you feel, perhaps doing one or two or three more, when you feel like you're ready to move on, bringing the knees in and having a rock side to side. So the next thing we're going to do is legs up the wall. So when you're ready, slowly move the legs up the wall and see if you can get those legs perpendicular to the floor. So because all of us are flexible enough to have the legs here, try and get it 90 degrees and give them a wiggle out, shaking the legs out there. Yeah. And we're circling the feet, circling one way, circling the other way. And then we're going to bring them together. And you're going to push through the balls of the toes and then point through the toes. So push through the balls of the toes, flex the heels. So it's a floint, a point, a float and a flex. Float, point, float and flex. Float, point, float and flex. One more time. Good. And then we'll keep the feet together and circle them as one. So we're circling one way. Circling the other way. Good. Great. So let's bring the knees in and let's put our hands behind the right thigh and send the left foot down. We're going to lengthen through the right leg, flexing through the heel. So always thinking, how much of my body can I relax? So relaxing the face or facial muscles. Yeah. And if you wish, you could gradually lengthen that lower leg and flex that foot. Whichever you prefer. And the main thing here is you want to keep the hips square. Make sure that this is feeling like, it should feel like a really nice healthy release in the back of the leg. Yeah, so flex through the heels, energize, and then maybe you can take the hands away so they're shoulder height and just send the energy through the heels there. Really push through the heels, so you might be able to feel that the lower leg is going to come off the floor, and then we're going to switch. So taking the legs high, both high, and let's do this process again actually. Let's lower the right leg, hands behind the left leg, unfolding the top leg there. Now staying here if you wish, and it's a good idea before if you're going to lengthen that leg, before you do it, keep the foot on the floor, do that thing where you press down through the heel, so that gets your back really nice and connected to the ground. It starts to use those deep core muscles, and then use that so you've already got that tone there. It's protecting the lower back. Flex through the heels there. If you wish, relax the arms away, maybe shoulder height. Take a couple of breaths, try and send the breaths through the heels, really moving into the shape. Yeah, and gradually bringing everything into the middle, hugging those knees, and we'll take a circle so that our hips are, so from the waist down we're circling on the ground, circling one way and circling the other way. See if you can find those, if you imagine that your lower back is a clock dial. So the coccyx or the tailbone, the tail is 6 o'clock, and then you've got 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock. See if you can just notice those points on the clock face. And smoothly rolling one way, and smoothly rolling the other way. Good. Yeah, so coming back to having our left foot on the floor. Actually, let's do some cycling up here. So we're going to cycle with our back on the floor, completely on the floor. I noticed I was thinking the sort of 80s pop two thing with the we won't do that today, but we'll do it with our back on the floor, and I want you to slow it right down so that your leg is almost touching the floor when you extend it. Yeah, so it's a really big cycle, the biggest cycle and the slowest cycle that you can do. Keeping the back on the mat, so really pressing down the back here. Cycling one way, reversing the cycle. Again, keeping that. When you extend the leg, try and keep it as low as you can. So you're really making a big circle with the legs. Yeah, and before we move away from that, take the legs up high, point through the toes, and then we're coming up so that, say this is, I'm not going to come down, just a fraction by a fraction. So come down a few degrees, come down a few more. Find that bit that really is like the biting point that you think, oh my God, I'm actually really working now. And I want you to stay there, press the back into the mat. You might feel a little tremble. Breathe. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring the knees in. Bring the knees in, give them a hug. We're going to do that twice more, just so you're prepared. Let's come into that biting point from the other way. So we'll take the legs long, and we'll lift the legs up. Slowly up to that moment where you think, oh my God. And then hold it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees in. Yeah, maybe a rock side to side. And then we're going to lengthen the legs, one on the floor, one above you. And it's like a scissor. So we're legs coming up, slowly, one coming up, one coming down. Find that moment that's making you work hard with the legs together. Just be there for a moment and then switch. So we'll take maybe 4 of these all together. In your own time, slowly, no cheating. Finding that moment that really makes you work there. A couple of breaths before we switch. I should have said, if that really is not comfortable on your lower back, you can always put your hands under your bum, and that can give you a bit of leeway there. Although it does squash your hands quite a lot. Yeah, so maybe just finishing off that. Hammering the legs in, and we're going to take the legs wide when you're ready. So it's like we move through Happy Baby, we push through the heels here. Yeah, and let's just let the legs surrender, and I'm just letting my hips be kind of quite loose, having a sway side to side. Great. And really let the arms relax out wide as well. We're going to bring the legs and the arms in at the same time. So they're coming in and they're both parallel. Heels and fingertips facing upwards. Yeah, have a play with that. How does that work for you? Opening really slowly. Pressing that back into the mat. And when you've relaxed, open, squeeze in to bring everything above you. Again, staying with this, try not to run away from it, keeping it slow. Really relaxing at the bottom and then finding those muscles again up to the top. Yeah, maybe taking 1 or 2 more. And when you're ready to come away from this, we'll take Happy Baby. And Happy Baby, you can hold on with hands over the toes or hands on the side. And here, keep the hips down. And it's like you're kind of pushing the top of the thigh into the socket there, so you're really kind of giving it a kind of reassuring squeeze. And we're going to let go of this in a moment so that we can roll from one side to the other. So we're rolling over, finding our way back, and rolling over the other way. Breathing in at the top, exhaling over, and you can make this quite Dramatic inhale up, exhale over. We will use one of these to kind of roll over and push ourselves up to sitting in a minute. But maybe taking one more each side. Big breath in to open, exhale to fold over. And when you're ready, come over into that side position and then push up with your front hand and slowly push up into sitting. Yeah. So let's take the legs wide here and push through the heels. And we're going to turn the millstone, circling. Circling one way. Make sure those knees are facing upwards. Circling one way, circling the other way. And gradually minimising that to bring the legs slowly in. And we'll come up into staff pose, biceps by ears. Big breath in and come forward. So wherever your hands come to, easing into a forward fold. So you exaggerate the breath here. Breathing in to expand, exhaling to sink a little bit deeper. Draw the belly in, make space. Yeah, and if you can find your toes, give them a bit of a massage. The feet up, squeeze. Yeah, and then breath in, inhale. Coming all the way up, and we'll bring the legs in underneath us, and we'll come into all fours. Actually, let's head down into child's pose, extended child's pose. And I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about this pose and how it's so deceptively simple. And sometimes it can be really uncomfortable to come into this position. It just is so brilliant for safely easing out the muscles and keeping the joints healthy. So 3 or 4 breaths here. Surrendering to gravity. And then gradually, when you're ready, we'll inhale, come into all fours. Line yourself up. And we'll take the cat and cow when you're ready. Pressing down with everything you've got. So pressing down into the floor with the hands and the backs of the feet. Or the fronts of the feet. Yeah, and then you can try, what does it feel like if you tuck your toes? That can give you a slightly more energetic feel. What are your shoulders doing while you do this? How can I make this feel really good? We are going to move into downward facing dog. So let's all tuck our toes and then push up so our bums are sticking up, and then we can send our arms up, our hips up. So you could play with coming from the low position to the high position, sometimes called puppy pose, to the dog pose. And then when you're ready, send the heels down and away, breathing and releasing into downward facing dog. See if you can keep that belly drawn in. I'm talking down up in my t-shirt now, so I hope you can hear me okay. Yeah, and then we're going to, let's come high on the balls of the toes. High as you can, and then again press the heels down and away. Bend the knees and gradually walk the feet in. Slowly taking your time, making every moment count in this. Scooping the belly in, so you're coming up like the evolution of man. Rolling until you come up into Tadasana. Yeah, so let's have a nice wide position now we're up here. Let's take the toes out and the heels out, so we're in quite a strong position here. And we'll let everything settle downwards, so let's just kind of be really pedestrian about it, so we're just standing kind of as if we're waiting in a queue perhaps, although you don't often see people standing square like this, do you? And then let's start to build up a bit of energy here by pressing down through the heels and the balls of the toes, and then pushing down through all the fingertips and the thumbs. So we're energizing here, and hopefully you can feel when you push downwards, you also automatically get the lengthening upwards as well, and it can help you go from this to drawing the belly in, lengthening the back of the neck, and standing tall. So no one can mess with you. Big breath in, hands coming high. We'll find the elbows there. Yeah, and we'll start to sway side to side. So bring the hips side to side there. Framing the face with those arms. And then start to rein in the breath by breathing in at the top, exhaling to the side, and you could lengthen the arms if you wish. Yeah. We're going to change this when you're ready so that we're circling and we're drawing the belly in as we curve over and open out. We'll take maybe 4 one way, 4 the other way. So this is mainly for the upper back and the arms. You're using the whole body. Press down with the feet. Really press down with the feet, get that ground reaction going. Circling one way and then circling the other way. And maybe by now you can feel this action in the whole body. And see how the breath helps you. So breathing in when you're at your most expanded, exhaling when you're contracting. Yeah, and the next time you come around, so that we're just hanging here, stay down for a moment, so we can here relax the arms and the shoulders, let the shoulders fall away from each other, and then kind of just be really heavy with the arms and the head, and hang out and come down, bend the knees generously. Relax the weight of the head here, press down, through the hands, through the feet, and tip the weight forwards, and back, forwards and back. How can you sort of start to let the muscles in the actual back release? And if you like, when you're ready, you can either lengthen the hips upwards, or you could take one knee bend at a time. So just enjoying that forward fold. Again, just like when we're doing the sitting down, draw the belly in softly, so you've got space here. We'll come up with bent knees and slow roll up. So when you're ready, softening the knees, dropping the hip under, softening the shoulders, pressing down through the feet, and slowly rolling up, back into standing, and then again finding that Tandasana position, first of all in a kind of relaxed way, and then pressing down through the fingers, down through the feet. Good. So let's use this kind of energetic way of standing and go into a tree pose. So we're going to transfer the weight onto one foot, take the hands together, keep tall, think about the back of the neck being long. And breathe. Yeah, so wherever your foot is, finding this moment of stillness. And when you're ready to come out of it, taking the hands high, expanding, coming back to the center. And we'll do the same for the other side, pressing down through the feet, keeping this strength in this position, finding stillness here with our tree pose. And when you're ready to come away from it, taking the hands up high and releasing away. We're coming straight down into our chair pose. Energy through the fingertips, through sitting bones. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Soften in those ankles. Maybe sink a millimetre or two downwards. And then come all the way up, pressing down through the feet. Good. Yeah, great. Okay, so either stepping or walking the feet out. Actually, let's have a sway side to side. Make sure there's nothing around you. Just letting those arms just be like ribbons in the breeze. Transferring the weight side to side. Let the body follow. Yeah, and then we'll gradually minimise that and we'll gradually bring ourselves up so that our hands are shoulder height and we're moving into warrior two. So when you're ready, energizing this shape, pushing through those fingertips, gazing over the fingers there. We're breathing in, taking the palms facing the ceiling. Exhale, palms coming down. Again, breathing in, hands facing the ceiling. Exhale, palms facing down. We'll take a big breath in, inhale, and then exhale up and over. Yeah, good. Big breath in, expanding to come the other way. We can lengthen the front leg here and come into peaceful warrior, pushing up with the fingertips. You could, yeah, let's just keep that there. Start to engage this muscle here. Here, this sets us up perfectly for Tandasana. Inhale and then exhale, leading with the side ribs. We're coming up and over. And your hand could be on your shin or further down. It's up to you. Think about opening the top shoulder there. Breathe. How does your neck feel? You aligning your neck with the rest of your spine. Inhale, coming all the way up. Push up and away. We're softening back into warrior two. We're dropping the back arm and we're following it and we're coming onto the ball of our toes here. So we're coming into a high lunge. Energize through the fingers, engage that back buttock there. And then if you wish, you could come up high with the hands and bend, soften the back knee. So just slowly go with this, make sure this is right for you. So that the knee comes down and then lengthening up and away again. Inhale, and as we exhale, we'll take the hands forwards and we're tucking the back toes and coming into our plank. Holding this just for as long as you wish. The other option is to do it with your knees just off the floor in bear pose, or you could take your knees down. Whenever you're ready, coming and meeting up in extended child. Three or four or six breaths here. Staying with this and giving yourself a chance to unwind gradually. Sometimes you can be in this position and you're not moving anywhere and you're feeling perhaps a little bit uncomfortable, and then without you even realising it, you feel a release somewhere in the body that you weren't even expecting. So be patient in pose. And when you're ready, inhale, come forwards, and we'll swiftly move into downward facing dog. So tuck the toes into your down dog, pressing down and away with the feet. So we're going to come from here, we're going to lift our right leg up into a three-legged dog, and I'm just kind of going through it, but you can do it in your own time. Bend the knee, step the foot forwards, turn the back foot out so that we can walk the hands up the knee and up the leg. Make sense? Yeah. And then we can come back into facing the front. Hands on the hips, and we'll just counterbalance all of that with the forward fold. Equal weight in both feet. And spend a little bit of time there. Yeah, just doing whatever you wish here. You could walk the fingers out, or back, or side to side, or you could bend and lengthen the legs. And when you're ready, you could perhaps walk the hands up the legs and come up with a long back. So you're just slowly kind of helping yourself by padding the hands up the legs. Big breath in, inhale, exhale. Into our warrior two. Energy through those fingertips. Nice strong position there. Inhale, palms facing upwards. Exhale, palms facing downwards. Try and keep those hands at shoulder height. Inhale, hands coming upwards. Remember that back buttock. As you take it one more time. Inhale, hands coming up. Exhale, palms facing down. Big breath in now. As we exhale, we're cartwheeling over to the side. Nice long shape there. Elbow on the thigh. Yeah, thinking about the length, that long line that you're making there. Energize through the fingertips. We inhale and we're exhaling into peaceful warrior. Let's lengthen the front leg. You can kind of look up past the hand, or look at the front, or look down at your back foot. Take your imagination to your side, your ribs here, because they're going to lead as we come into Trikonasana. So it's kind of like they're listening and leaning in towards the knee there, bringing you into three triangles. Hands wherever feels comfortable for you. Great. Strong energy through, especially the top fingers, all of the fingers. And then inhale, exhale, and we're going to keep the back hand moving. Drop the shoulder as you come into a lunge here. So anchor yourself with this muscle here. Big breath in, coming high. Remember, we're going to do that thing where we drop the back knee, and it's not always for everyone, so just listen to your body, see how it feels for you. Good. Big breath in, lengthening long. Exhale forward, and yes, plank. Tucking the back toes, holding that plank just for as long as you like, either high or with the knees down. Whichever you're doing, but we're all going to meet up in extended child when you're ready, and you could take the diamond child, so the one hand above the other. Deep breaths now. You can always have the knees apart, one big toe over the other, and the belly relaxing. Settling, finding gravity. Yeah, and then when you're ready, we're going to just walk our hands out. We're going to stay down. So take your time and just rearrange yourself so that you're sitting on the mat. Yeah. Yeah, so let's lengthen out through those heels there and come into our staff pose. Keep this super energized. Push through the heels, bring the legs pretty close together. Think about the shoulders dropping back and down. And we're going to take the cow face just with the hands, finding our fingertips. Taking this one way, taking the other way. Yeah. We'll come back to those arms in a moment, but let's move into a spinal twist. Now, you can either sit like so, or you could have one leg in front of you. It's up to you. Whatever feels the most comfortable. Yeah, so we'll breathe in long, and then as we exhale, we're slowly twisting to the same side as the knee that's up. Listening to the whole body. Yeah, so if that feels uncomfortable, especially when you're out of thigh, you could lengthen the lower leg. We're going to go both ways. So when you're ready, take your time, but we'll twist the other way as well. So if you've got your legs like this, it may be that you want to come into cow face this way. But it's a bit of a tangle, very pleasurable for some people, and some not. So wherever you are with your legs, either with the leg long, or the leg folded, or with one knee above the other, find your cow face arms, and see how it feels to inhale and then exhale, draw the belly in and fold over. I think it's quite hard to see these poses. It's like, which leg is which? Yeah. So really here we're playing with twisting, and we're finding some sort of quite deep stretches that are quite contained. Yeah, so when you're ready, bring your legs out and just hold on to the thigh muscles, give them a rub out. And when you're ready, we'll take it on the other side. Yeah, so either hopping the foot over with the long leg, or bending the other leg. It's up to you, whichever works for you. We'll take the first twist, inhaling long and then exhaling the same way as the bent knee. And remembering that you're twisting mainly from the base of the spine, and the head just comes last. Staying with this for a couple of breaths before you move to the other side. So you're breathing in long, exhaling to maybe twist a little bit more. Yeah, and then however you want your legs, whether it's with the knee bent or in a more involved position in cow face, Let's take cow face arms. So I'm using the opposite elbow to the knee that's highest. And then exhale forward. And when you're ready, breath in to come up. All the way up. And again, give the thighs a bit of a rub out. We're going to take a few more deeper stretches, a couple more, and then we'll head into relaxation. So let's take a big breath in where we are. Take the hands out nice and wide, and then as you exhale, one hand over the other, push through the fingertips, thumbs facing downwards, and come forwards. Yeah. Inhale, as you exhale, softly let the elbows part. Drop the chin to the chest. And breathe in to lengthen. And when you're ready, take a big breath in at the top again. Exhale, one wrist above the other. Thumbs coming down, finding the outsides of your feet. Exhale, soften. Ready. Breath into lengthen. Yeah. So we're heading down into relaxation, but I want you just to use maybe 2 or 3 minutes to do anything you feel that you want to do. Maybe you feel like you want to just do a bit more for your core. Maybe you want to just relax. If you want to do something with me, I'm just going to take my knees in my hands and circle the knees away from each other. Yeah, just in a minute or so. We'll head into relaxation. These 2 minutes went very fast. Maybe you want to take twists side to side. And when you're ready, making sure you've got something warm around you. I've got my gravity blanket. Ooh. Yeah, so as we head into relaxation, perhaps if you did make an intention or an objective at the beginning of the session, maybe taking your mind back to that, whatever it was. Maybe just thinking, how can I bring my practice into the rest of the day? Letting the sensation in the body come and go. Thoughts come and go. And breath rises and falls. And I'll see you in 5 or 6 minutes. Begin to bring your imagination to sensations in the body. And move towards areas in the body that need to be eased out, woken up a little bit, and gradually push your way up, coming to sitting. Yeah. And let's close the class with one long Om. So we're inhaling Namaste. Namaste. Thanks so much for coming. Be good gurus.